A morning routine is absolutely useless if you don't have this in place. Listen, everyone emphasizes the importance of a morning routine, but no one really seems to mention the fact that in order to have a good morning routine, you need a good night routine. And to prove that, I remember around last year summer, exactly 1 year ago, in that certain time period, there were a few good instances where I couldn't sleep at night. And I ended up going to sleep later than usual. In fact, despite me being on self improvement, I was still procrastinating almost every single day. I felt like I was literally chained. I felt like I was in a prison of procrastination where I couldn't escape. The moment I hopped on my laptop to do some work, that's when my mind would give up. That's when I would watch that one YouTube video and then I'm in the loophole. And I would procrastinate until like 11 p.m. It's bedtime, and then I have the choice. Do I go to bed early or do I just feel the guilt? Because I felt so guilty from procrastinating the entire day that at the end of the night, that's when my thoughts come. That's when my brain actually wakes up. So then I'm sitting here cross-legged. I'm trying to plan my next day. And I'm here thinking, do I go to bed or do I finish up the work that I told myself I was going to be doing earlier in the day? And guess what happened? This led to me finishing my work or trying my work until like 2 a.m. And so if I slept at 2 a.m., then you can only guess how I felt the next day. Sluggish, off routine, chasing instant gratification. And most importantly, I didn't even get the next day's work done. So the night routine that I'll be sharing with you not only kept me or made me sleep in a disciplined manner, made me sleep early, but this night routine actually helped me break out of the prison of procrastination the next day. Instead of waking up sluggish and depressed, I woke up motivated and I woke up in a purposeful manner. By the way, okay, aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of seeing us men fall down to the brink of death? In 2022, men died by suicide almost 4 times more than women. Men are deteriorating into boys, and often they become so feminine that they become women. There's an entire epidemic of this agenda that's been pushing down the Muslim kids that go to school in the West. There's an agenda that's been pushing down their throats. So this is not only going to the non-Muslims. No, this is directly attacking the household of the Muslim kids and the future Muslim generation. It's time for us boys to turn into men. Okay? My goal is to be the most masculine and the most strongest version of myself and the most productive version of myself that I can ever be. And I'm sure you have that same exact goal. So subscribe to this channel because I will be sharing the lessons I learned and it will boost you and help you get there 2 times faster because we need to change this. So subscribe to the channel if that's something you're working towards. This chapter is all about getting your body to signal sleep and just having some productive downtime. So hopefully you finish your major tasks of the day. Now, if you haven't finished your major tasks of the day, this is where discipline comes in. This is where being the man of your word comes in. If you told yourself that you're going to be finishing your tasks that day and you haven't done it, I recommend you just go through it and do it, because this is about telling yourself and telling your body and pretty much making your body used to finishing and listening to itself. If you told yourself that I'm going to be finishing a video today, you have to do it no matter how many hours it takes. You might be thinking downtime and productivity, that doesn't really align. I mean, downtime is, how can downtime be productive? In fact, I actually recently found out that we need to be disciplined with our downtime as we are disciplined when we do our work. In fact, Dr. Cal Newport, the author of the book Deep Work, which is a New York bestseller, which is one of the most famous productivity books out there, Dr. Cal Newport actually has to check something in order for him to tell his brain to actually shut off. So he disciplined himself to actually check something at the end of the day so he can have some downtime. So he emphasizes the meaning and the importance of a downtime. And it's pretty obvious. Even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had downtime. What's awesome is that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, used to spend time with his wives, spend time with his family after a hard day's work. And before he slept, he said a lot of du'as and he just got himself primed up to sleep and then wake up again in the middle of the night to pray. If we want to be a productive machine, we have to both play the offensive and the defensive. I mean, it's not a coincidence where Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest footballers and one of the greatest athletes to ever set foot on earth, it's not a coincidence that he slept 5 times a day. He napped 5 times a day. Now you might be saying, oh no, why can't he just train all day? Well, he has to nap in order to train the next time. The nap and the recovery is what helps him. And the downtime is what helps go ahead on the next task or the next day. Now, the issue with this generation is that we think downtime is sitting down on our bed and just scrolling on our phone all night. And that is not what downtime is. In fact, if you are a thinker and if you believe that my downtime is just my way to kill time, it's just me sitting down and just scrolling or playing video games, this is not downtime. In fact, the moment you touch and start playing video games to relax, that's when your brain is on the most amount of pressure. That's when it has so much pressure on itself. That's when it's the most active because when you play video games, your dopamine receptors and your dopamine levels skyrocket up. And so there's no way you're going to be relaxed. In fact, it's the opposite. The moment you're relaxed to play or scroll, that's when you are the least relaxed. That's when you are the most alert and the most focused because your brain is doing something like video games, which is so stimulating. So what are some productive things we can do in order to have a productive downtime? So typically, of course, Isha is quite late now. And so we just have to change to those times. I mean, after Isha, typically I finish my work, earlier and I go to the gym and I read. So Isha is at 11 and I typically start my downtime 2 hours, 3 hours before Isha. And the reason why is because I'm not going to be working 24 hours a day. I finished my important work, I've done everything else, and now I'm going to have some important downtime. So what is some downtime that we can have? Things like spending time with family. And you'd be surprised to see how much that will help you be more productive if you just spend some time with family. And another thing that I do is I read some books, right? I read the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I watch a podcast. I do something that's not stimulating enough, And right before I go to bed, I've been doing this for months and months and months. Right before I close my eyes, I do 3 things. The first thing I do is I read Surah Mulk after Isha, and then what I do is I do my 3 goals and wipe my body, blow into a cup of my hand. And what also I do, the last thing is I read Ayatul Kursi. Now there are a lot of other things that we can do. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did a lot of other things before he went to bed, but these 3 things I've been doing for months, and it's truly, helped me sleep. Of course, it's protection. I really look forward to my night routines because it's so relaxing, right? I play some background noise. I get a book out, I get some coffee, not really coffee because it's nighttime. I get some green tea like 2 or 3 hours before bed, and I just read, and it reminds me of where I came from. My night routines used to be me playing video games until 5 a.m. and then scrolling a little bit. And now I'm reading books and drinking green tea at like 10 p.m., 9 p.m. And the last thing I'll say is once you've finished, doing your productive activities like reading books, having good family time, watching a podcast, stuff like that. And once you've finished your Islamic practices and Islamic things, in order to get protection from Allah before bed, I recommend just making your room as dark and also making your room cold as possible, because even then it's scientifically proven for you to sleep with darkness, and it is also scientifically proven in order for your room to be a little cool, a little cold on a colder side, in order for you to go to bed and have deep sleep. That's pretty much what I do. Now, once you implement this for 1 or 2 weeks, you're going to start to see yourself and feel so much more productive. Not only that, but you'll actually gain the grasp of following a routine and getting discipline. As you know, discipline is a muscle that can be grown. Just like how you go to the gym, discipline works the exact same way. The more you do of it, the more bigger the discipline gets. And so, once you've become a lot more productive and a lot more disciplined and you're ready to really work, I have released a free productivity course that you can check out in the description below, where I take you from barely working, pretending to work and just getting nothing done the entire day, to actually getting your main tasks done and to actually making progress on and towards your goals, right? And this is a completely free course, and all of this you can do and transform yourself in just 30 days. Completely free course. Check it out in the description below. You just have to join my Discord server, and that's it. So, assalamu alaikum. Hopefully you found this beneficial, and I'll see you in the next one.